Welcome back to my channel. My name is Caela, and today we're going to be talking about something I've talked about before and I still get a lot of comments on, is why I would never get a cochlear implant and why if I had a child and they were deaf, I wouldn't have them have a cochlear implant and I would teach them American Sign Language. So this is extremely controversial. I get so many people in my comments. Specifically, I had this one guy recently, and I made this video like a year ago. So if you want to go back and look at it, that's fine. But I had this guy a year ago. This video a year ago, this guy recently. And he said, I hope you never have children because you're gonna like F them up with your opinion. And like, that's kind of far. Like, that's really far to say. I don't even have children and you're already telling me I'm screwing them up. Like, that's a little aggressive. So let's just take like a trip on why I went and why a lot of people in the deaf community went. So something that I replied back to him was, what is wrong with being deaf? Why are you forcing deaf people to hear and learn English instead of American Sign Language? It is only purely out of the convenience for hearing people and the unadaptivity that they would like to choose to help deaf people. What if the roles were reversed? What if everyone was deaf and then you had a couple hearing kids? You would try to teach the hearing kids American Sign Language. It's purely societal reasons of why deafness is like, we need to fix. So in the deaf community, it's a very accepting thing. If your kid is deaf, you're like, oh, hell yes. I am so proud that my kid is deaf. And a lot of parents give kids the option if they want to hear or if they don't. Having a cochlear implant does not mean you will hear. Let's just say it now. I have this girl in my comments and she's saying hearing aids make you hear, they're amazing, go to your audiologist. It's because she wants to be an audiologist. Caela, I'm talking about you. Like, it will not make you hear. It's not a miracle thing. Audiologists are there to help, but it's not an end-all be-all kind of thing. And if you don't like my opinion, stop watching my videos and stop commenting on it. Being deaf is a very prideful thing. That it's like a gift. A lot of deaf parents would love to have deaf children. I'm not saying that they hate their hearing kids. It's the opposite. Obviously, they love all kids. They're a part of their community. It's American Sign Language is a culture, community, and a language, which is totally different than a lot of other languages out there. Because being deaf, you get to be really close to people. You have your own language, and not a lot of people can say that. And cochlear implants are, I've known people to have cochlear implants and they hate them. It's draining. They don't enjoy it. It's like a weird staticky sound. No matter how many times, like, just go to your audiologist, they'll fix it. That's like, they won't always fix it, okay? And having a cochlear implant will not make you learn English. That's stupid. That's not a thing. It will not make you learn English, okay? You still have to find your mode of communication, which is mostly American Sign Language if you are deaf and you have a cochlear implant. I totally understand if, say, you're 40 and you lose all your hearing. You lose it. You don't know American Sign Language and your first language is English and only language is English, then I totally understand a cochlear implant in that aspect. But as a person who is hard of hearing and is deaf, I am proud of it. And if I had a kid who was hard of hearing and who was deaf, I would not put a cochlear implant on them. I totally believe that they should be proud of who they are. They shouldn't want to fix their issue. They have no issue. Okay, being deaf is not an issue. It's something to be proud about. It's something to be welcomed into a community and a beautiful culture. We have our own schools, we have our own colleges. It is a beautiful thing to be deaf. People use my own voice against me, which pisses me off. I don't know what happened, okay? I'm deaf. and I speak very well. And for someone who is deaf, and people say, oh, you can do it, everyone else can do it. No, I'm kind of an anomaly over here. There's a lot of words that I can't pronounce that I avoid saying because I do have a deaf accent with it, which I'm not embarrassed about. It's just I avoid saying it. But a lot of deaf people who go into speech therapy for 12 years don't sound as well as you want them to be, which is messed up that they're even doing it, because to communicate with people who speak English, who view deafness as a terrible thing, or can deaf people drive? It's like, wow, like, how does your eyesight affect your ears affect your voice? Like, come on guys, like, being deaf is not a problem, and fixing it should entirely be up to that person. Personally, I would never get one as someone who was born into it, and you should be proud of who you are, and anyone who says that you should, they only have a problem with it because it's not their language, it's not their community, it's not their culture, and they view it as something that's wrong with you, even though being deaf is nothing's wrong with it. It should just be like another day. Like, okay, I know American Sign Language. Like, you only know English? That's that. I know American Sign Language and English. Sorry. So yeah, I hope this helped. If you want to kind of like learn about my hearing loss story, my first video of why I would never wear cochlear implants is still up, and I still get a lot of comments about it. So yeah, thanks guys.